A year ago, His Excellency Bishop Athanasius Schneider invited me to come to Tanzania. I got to see just a beautiful picture of the Catholic faith, the Catholic Church. And in particular, they're trying to build a house of studies. And I got to see that, and I got to see the fine young men so well dressed. I was there, I saw the need of the seminarians. I didn't want another apostolate. I thought, no, Lord, I don't want to have another thing. But I went on a safari. I was in Arusha National Park looking at giraffes. In the background was Mount Kilimanjaro, and I saw the majesty of that mountain. And all of a sudden, I got this idea in my head that if I hiked that mountain and led a group up there, we could get visibility enough to help raise money for this house of studies. I had the inspiration that this will be somewhat of a pilgrimage or a spiritual act. For me, it means that we can claim the victory of Our Lady on the mountain.
Christopher, once our friend visited us when Father Joao was ordained, and he was astonished to see all this, and he said, wow, but how you are having fun to run all this? We say, we're just depending on friends and we depend on our works. And so he thought about the idea, maybe we are going to make a fundraising, but how? So he started, we are going to climb Kilimanjaro and show the friends what you are doing and what you have already done and what's the need. I said, oh, will it work? I said, we will see. Our Lady will do the work. Christopher, when he was motivated, when he saw that we need to start a house of studies for the seminarians who are finishing the low level, ordinary level, and then to go to somewhere to study more to prepare for the priesthood, there's no a place. So we need to buy a place, we need to build houses and to look for water. It needs money. And how to find the money, so Christopher gave me the idea to climb Kilimanjaro with the idea. So after some time he already started telling me that we are having friends who are going to climb Kilimanjaro. They are making exercises already, so wow.
We have a very diverse group. We accumulated about 10 people. There are some requirements. You really have to want to climb. Like, this is no joke. Its elevation is 20,000 feet. Most people are at that elevation when they're flying on an airplane, so it's no joke. This is an apostolate. We're trying to raise money, so each climber was given the task of raising about $5,000 US. We have somebody from Canada. He is 78 years old. We are so amazed and proud of him. We've got Michael Matt from the Remnant. We've got Eric Frankovich from the Catholic Identity Conference, Father Joao from the Missionaries of the Holy Cross. So the age ranges from 26 to 78.
First, I very much welcome the expedition climbing the Kilimanjaro mountain. It's a very courageous effort, and it is also not only a physical heroic act, the climbing of a mountain and the highest mountain in Africa. It's also symbolic and spiritually, I see. And during the Mass, we hear every Mass these words, lift up your hearts, sursum corda. And by your climbing, you realized physically the spiritual meaning.
I just am so happy and thankful to Our Lady that I've been able to be a part of this, and right now we just registered for the climb and we're about ready to start hiking.
Pater vos tuus, Deus meus, sperantes in te, nihil proficiat inimicus in eis. Benedictio Dei omnipotens, Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti, descendat super vos et maniat semper. Amen. Ave Maria!
My name is Christian Kroger and I'm from Easley, South Carolina. I've loved adventure my whole life. I've trekked through the Amazon. I've traveled through most of Europe now, and then the combination of that and traditional Catholicism, that I just couldn't miss it.
My name's Kevin Kroger. I'm here with my son, Christian Kroger. I've always wanted to go to Mount Kilimanjaro and do something with my son and do something for Our Lady and for the mission in Africa. This is my magnum opus as far as my trips around the world, especially with my son. I hope that will give him something to remember me by.
I'm Michael Matt, and I am from St. Paul, Minnesota. So Christopher Wendt attended the Catholic Identity Conference that Eric Frankovich and I organize in Pittsburgh every year. And so he stood up there and started talking about this climb, this climb for the reign of Mary. It just really attracted me because I think Africa for us, for Catholics, some of the best cardinals and bishops in the church today come from Africa now, and there's many, many good things that are happening. That's how I heard about the climb, and then my buddy Eric Frankovich said, "Hey, you want to do this?" And it just sounded perfect.
Emite centurum et veritatem tuam ipsa me dedixenut et orixenut in untem sanctum tuum et tabernacula tuum. Qui tecum vivit et regnat in unitate Spiritus Sancti Deus, per omnia saecula saeculorum. Pater et Filius et Spiritus Sanctus.
name's Eric Frankovich. I'm from Weirton, West Virginia. I've known Christopher Wentz for quite some time. He told me he was going to create this trip, told us a little bit about the things that were taking place in Singida, and said it was a very worthwhile endeavor to go and support him, so I thought I'd check it out.
I'm Joanne Good, and I'm from Pittsgrove, New Jersey. I had 2 attempts at going on a bucket list trip in the past 4 years that failed. I had an itch to go somewhere. I read the email about the Kilimanjaro trip. I thought, why not? Spiritually, I'm carrying scores of intentions of my friends and loved ones, offering up sacrifice, an endeavor that's so physically demanding. That will help me keep focused too for the climb.
My name is Chris Maher. I'm from Hilltown, Pennsylvania. Many years in the western states, I've been a mountain climber. Boy, as soon as I heard about this Latin Mass with mountain climbing, and I knew it would be great camaraderie with the people on the trip. So that was just a slam dunk in itself. And then to get one of the 7 summits to boot.
My name is Noel Fernandez, and I'm from Toronto, Canada. So this climb immediately appealed to my heart. First, my spirit of adventure. The other more important thing was the cause. And I thought, I must be a part of this.
My name is Father João Silveira. I'm from Portugal. I belong to the Missionaries of the Holy Cross. So Christopher Wentz asked me to be the chaplain of this expedition. First I tried to refuse because it was a really bad date for me. I had lots of things to do in this week of July. But then I got persuaded that it would be a good work, especially for the needs of our institute. It's not every day that a priest gets to celebrate the Mass outside in this beautiful place. It's a blessing because we can see, admire the creation of God at the same time that we are making God present in the altar. It's also beautiful to take God at all the places in the world.
It's been really tough, you just don't know, so you don't want to get too confident, but so far so good, and seeing Africa not so much as a tourist, but as someone who's able to walk with these people. The guides and the porters they've become like friends already. We're having a great time with these guys and really getting to know each other as we suffer together on this journey, and they help us through it.
Day 3, I struggled. I struggled physically all day. The nights are cold, the days are hot, and the views are like a dream come true.
It's been hard. It's been hard every day. It's been hard on my back. I'm out of breath, fighting altitude sickness. I'm exhausted, but we're offering up for Our Lady. That's what keeps me going.
Having a priest on the mountain was truly a blessing. It fortified us, it energized us.
I love having a priest with us. It's been really inspiring. That combined with being on top of the highest freestanding mountain in Africa, it's incredible. A mixture of adventure and faith. I absolutely love it.
The hike was difficult. It was uphill. Terrain was rough. There was actually boulder climbing where you had to climb over boulders. They weren't just strolling down a path. It was strenuous.
My favorite moments have been the conversations around the dinner table. It's been very, very interesting. And then come to a camp and set up an altar and have mass with the people you're climbing with is quite an experience.
It has been a privilege to have Latin Mass every day on the climb. God is with us along the trail.
Just to see the beauty of nature, the wildlife, the scenery, and going through the different biomes. We're first going through the jungle and then shrubland and now desert. Looks like we're in Mordor now. It's pretty crazy. I've never seen anything like it in all my travels.
All right, Chris, where are we?
We're so excited because we're at the 14,000 foot mark, which is huge. We've just completed a 14er. Everybody's feeling great. You guys feeling great?
Are you feeling great? Are you feeling great?
Excellent. Awesome.
Ave Maria.
Ave Maria.
I read in the guidebook, first page, it said it's more of a walk than a trek. And I thought, well, I can do that. But it's been brutal. It's climbing up the tallest freestanding mountain in the world.
Day 4 was so enjoyable, seeing the tiniest flowers and even, the lichen on the rocks, and just so much to remind us that God is with us in every way. It's really just a privilege, once in a lifetime.
For me at least, I'm very used to walking, to do pilgrimages. The walking has not been difficult, but the altitude has its problems. So it's not easy to be at 4,000 meters. I don't know how many feet are that. But for now, everything is going fine, and God willing, we'll arrive to the final destiny.
the idea of bringing the traditional Latin Mass to Mount Kilimanjaro. This is very difficult. We actually had to have porters to bring special, obviously a table up here, an altar all the way up here. To every night be able to offer the Mass for our family and friends back home, to send a message to the world. This Mass is worth suffering for, it's worth climbing mountains for, it's worth dying for. And I've been really honored by the fact that even though I'm an old guy, there aren't nobody else here to serve it. So I get to serve the Mass, which was an unexpected honor for me.
My name is Robert Masha and I'm a mountain guide. I work with Kilimanjaro Expert. So my last trip, it counted 121 summits. I was told this trip is going to be a special one, and definitely it happened to be one of a kind, I can say. From the first day I felt it was very special because everything started with God. They were very religious people, very kind people, and very dedicated people to God. To do Holy Mass every day at the mountain, which touched so many people out there. So everyone played his role, everyone in the trip, everyone from the trekkers, from the porters, the ones with extra duties, the guides in general. They all played a very big role to make sure that this trip was a success.
Benedictio Dei Omnipotenti, Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti, descendat super vos et maneat semper. Amen.
Amen.
Dum sifu Iesu Christo. Sante Sante.
It has absolutely lived up to everything that I was hoping in terms of the spirit of the African people, which is really kind of a very Catholic spirit. Whether they're all Catholic or not, there's a beautiful traditional family, God, country, community, village attitude that fits right in with what it means to be Catholic. So I've just been in seventh heaven ever since we started. It's hard, it's a tough walk. I don't know if I'm going to finish it or not, but in terms of why I came, it's been fantastic.
The biggest thing about this climb is high altitude sickness. Your body does funny stuff to you with less oxygen, and you don't know until you go through it. If I'm able and Our Lady allows me to reach the top, I've got a statue of her that I'm going to hold up, and I'm going to claim the reign of Mary for her. But we're also trying to raise money. Like I said before, we're trying to get a certain amount of visibility for this house of studies. They really need our help.
In Africa, there's a lot of vocations, In our institute, it's a minor seminary with 300 young boys. The question is, we don't have where to send them here in Tanzania or in Africa because we don't have any house of studies for now.
Get a running start. Look at that, huh? Who's your daddy?
This is a very important step, I think, the fundraising that's being done in this expedition in order to get more possibility for our students.
When I first got into Tanzania, it wasn't sleeping. My system was upset, was off a little bit. And then as we started up the mountain and started getting some altitude, my body just wasn't handling it well, so I wasn't able to eat or drink. When I did try, I would throw up, and I wasn't able to sleep, and that was another big part. I'd lay in my sleeping bag and my heart would race, and just kind of draining me.
The trek was wonderful, but I underestimated Lady Kilimanjaro. She beckoned me, keep going. But after 5 days of it, 5 out of the 8 days, I realized my body could not handle it anymore. I knew that I had met my match.
I did it through 4 nights, 5 days. So after the 5th day, it was a 3-hour trek, got into camp, and I knew that if I was going to check out, that was the time to do it, because after day 5, there was day 6, which is a difficult climb, and then it was a much more difficult place to leave the trek. So I knew after 5 I needed to go.
I talked to the expedition leaders. I figured that it was time for me to call it quits, and they agreed with my decision.
It was very clear, in my mind that I wasn't going to have the ability to carry on and do the whole thing. So when I made a decision, I was very comfortable with it, and I still am. I did the right thing.
Today is day 5 of the climb. Regretfully, 2 of our team members had to go back down because they were experiencing mountain sickness. And they really fulfilled their mission. With their help, all of us together helped to raise over $100,000 for the St. Benedict House of Studies, which was our main mission. And when we're on the top there, we're going to be thinking and praying for them.
Salve Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo, et spes nostra salve. Ad te clamamus, exules filii Eve, ad te suspiramus, gementes et fuentes, in ac lacrimarum vale. Ea ergo, advocata nostra, illos tuos misericordes oculos ad nos converte. Et Iesu, benedictum fructum ventris tui, nobis post hoc exilium ostende. O clemens.
Want to send down your bowls?
You're talking about what?
Send down your bowls.
So we do with this.
Cross.
You forgot It's funny, you don't even really see.
And all of these Spanish people are in front of me.
There is kibo and barafu, which we are going to use it on our way down.
School hut.
Yeah, 4,800 meters.
School hut.
Okay.
That's where they take the camp kids.
I love the physical fitness, and I love the strengthening of my faith and being able to receive the sacraments every single day. I'm really excited to bring my petitions and all of the prayers that my family sent me to the top of the mountain. And I'm just excited to bring Mary's queenship to the top of that mountain, conquer the mountain for Christ.
Thrilled to have been invited by Christopher to join him on this venture. It's been absolutely fantastic so far, and now it's just a question of whether we can make the summit. Even if we can't, all glory and honor to God for getting us here to Africa and seeing this beautiful place.
Given their life to follow Jesus Christ. All our efforts, all our pain, our sacrifices are offered to God. Today we had the Mass outside in this beautiful scenario where it was very cloudy and even chilly, but then during consecration the sun came. CDFs misinterpreted some parts of the text.
From the waist down, easy peasy. From the waist down, you just need 3 layers. We're expecting to get there by 7.
No major breaks in that 5 to 6 hours. That's just.
We will have major breaks, but not so many. We'll have like 2. The rest, they are short breaks, like 2 minutes break, then we move. Because at night, we don't always sit for so long because we get cold. Yeah. When we move, it's when we become warm.
I like little breaks.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
definitely Felix will be working on that, and he will give you enough breaks.
So all this final climb done by night, 1,000 meters, we go up in 6 hours, zigzagging, I've been told. So let's hope all of us can arrive there.
Just hope I stay healthy. The altitude sickness is the great equalizer, regardless of experience and fitness. Game isn't over till it's over.
My main fear is getting too cold. I mean, even the first night I was too cold. I can't imagine what it's going to be like on the summit. I'm dreading it. And not to mention a 16-hour trek, twice what we're doing at night. Oh, I don't know. What could go wrong?
Amen. Thank you, Father. Headlamps off or on, Robert?
As you got up, you would take 2 steps, breathe, take 2 steps and breathe like that all the way up, because the air is getting thinner and thinner. You have less oxygen, so your mind is kind of in a fog, and you're really just praying, Jesus and Mary, get me there, or whatever prayer. You're really just entrusting yourself to Our Lady, to Jesus and Mary, for the strength to get to the top.
Well, it was one of the hardest things I ever did in my life. I knew Kilimanjaro was going to be hard, but it exceeded my expectations. I was dying on that mountain. Definitely a lot of prayers.
It was brutal. It was twice as steep and twice as long and twice as hard as what I thought it would be. It was scary. It was cold and I was not feeling well at all. A little nauseated, a little headache, a little dizzy.
Summit night was hard. That's the first word that comes to mind, because I think we weren't ready for such a difficult climb. All these things that are hard physically, if we can profit from them, can be good spiritually. And I think that's what happened.
Yeah? So wonderful.
Summit night was an adventure. It lived up to all expectations. It was really hard. I'm not saying that to brag because I did it so much as to say, if anybody else tries to do Kili, make sure you really prepare for the summit because it's for real. It's really tough, very cold, very windy, very challenging.
And then when you get to the top, then they wanted me to climb another peak, and I said, no, thank you. And then they said, well, you'll have to go down then. I said, okay.
So where did you stop, Kevin?
At the top of the crater, which was Stella Point, yeah.
The first landmark on the summit, Stella Point, was a big deal, but they wanted you to really get to the absolute summit. And as you went around Stella Point, suddenly I realized my physical abilities just weren't the same as they were even a few steps behind. But The guide company provided porters that as soon as they saw me flag just a little bit, I was escorted to the finish line.
It was cold. My water bottle was frozen solid. It was glacier-like, like very icy. You kind of had to get into a snow trail. Like there's a little snow trail where your 2 feet have to kind of navigate in this little channel as you're walking your way towards the top.
We were still together, and I was concerned for Father and Joanne. So anyway, I made a decision at one point just to blast at the summit and then turn around and see wherever else it was.
I made it. I made it. It was exhilarating. It was truly exhilarating. A little overwhelming. It was crowded.
So it just kind of turned into mayhem, and I've never seen so many people on a mountaintop in my life.
I made it up to the highest peak, but by the time I got up there, my head was definitely pounding. I went up there with Father, and we both just kind of sat down and almost passed out.
We got our summit picture in front of the sign after a pretty impressive coordinated effort with the porters clearing the sign for us and getting us in place up there.
There's kind of a bit of competition. So if you can imagine, there's this line of people. Once you get up there, there's a traffic jam. So what you have to do is kind of hold hands with your team and try to like block people and try to get to the picture. The picture means a lot because it's the piece you can always remember that you really were there, that you stood in front of the sign that says Uhuru Peak. So it was all worth it, but it was hard to get up there, and it wasn't the best picture in the world. Only some of the team is very visible, but it was kind of comical, but we made it there.
It felt great. It was really a special moment.
I'm deeply grateful to my American friends for carrying my flag, the Canadian flag, up to the top of the mountain and taking pictures of it there. They did this for me.
We were on top of the world, really. We were in the ceiling of Africa, which is phenomenal. I mean, we were there for about 10 or 15 minutes. You can't be there long because the oxygen and pressure is 50% less. We gave the whole world to Our Lady and to her reign, and in our hearts, really, because we couldn't really speak all that much. We really prayed, Adveniat Regnum Mari, may the reign of Mary come.
All right, 1, 2, 3, Ave Maria! It was really, really, really hard, which actually I think just put a nice exclamation point on the whole experience. It was a great send-off then for the rest of our pilgrimage to go find out what goes on with our Catholic brothers and sisters here in Africa.
You always have to get down. You're only halfway there when you hit the summit. The scree was fun. Everybody was very sloppy. I was very sloppy.
In Swahili, they have this word pole pole. I just was pole pole up and pole pole down. I'm just happy to be in my tent and take a nap. By the time we got into camp at about 4 p.m. So it took just about everything I had to get to the top and get to the camp down.
First of all, we have the grace of God that helps us. And second of all, we have our effort. And the two together can do beautiful things, as we are doing here. This is not an easy path. This is not an easy climb. But I see clearly that when we offer ourselves to do God's will, God helps us to do things that we never thought possible.
The final day, day 8, we ate breakfast together, and then we were surprised by this congratulations cake.
Congratulations, Ave Maria, with a popcorn cake.
Yeah, let me get a shot of that.
Yes. We're in the middle of nowhere. Like, there's no running water, there's no oven. I don't know how they bake the cake, but I had 2 pieces of it. It was unbelievable. The team that we had, Kilimanjaro experts, really wanted us to win, really wanted us to get up there, and we're so happy that they were able to help us achieve our goal.
It was a goal that we set at the start of the year, and it just seemed so big. Kilimanjaro was done in steps in 7 days, and each step was doable. It was difficult, but it was doable. And the whole big picture of the pilgrimage also came into play in little pieces. So when you just approach it step by step, the bigger picture takes shape.
I would say for me, it was one of the biggest accomplishments in my life, next to graduating infantry school and having my first child. Greatest adventure I've ever been on.
Yeah, it was the hardest thing I ever did, I think, physically and psychologically. Just glad to get up there just so I could go down, make it stop.
I've run many half marathons and it kind of feels like that. You see the finish line and you have maybe 10 or 15 minutes left. You've been hiking almost 6 hours and you're like, wow, this is so great. And you walk down that hill and you see civilization again, like to see like a building, to see a bathroom that has running water was amazing compared to the kind of facilities that we had out in camp. We were kind of coming at our different paces. I was in the first batch and it was great to see the others come and just really see the joy in their face when they knew that they were done. That they'd finished the race and they'd kept the faith, so to speak, like they were just radiant, and I felt that same joy.
Where are we headed now?
Okay, so now we're heading someplace that's kind of mysterious in a way because no one's quite sure how to talk about this place. Authentically Catholic Holy Cross mission. They have schools, kids, and they have like pre-seminary training for older people. And they have really great results, and that's why we climbed Mount Kilimanjaro in the first place, was to try to draw attention to the Latin Mass movement around the world, but also specifically in Africa. So now we're going to go find out exactly what these mysterious men in Africa, these priests in Africa, are up to, and how they function, why they're prospering like they are. Last part of our sort of Catholic safari here is to get out there to Singida and find out what exactly is happening.
Thanks for the update. Michael Matt, correspondent, special correspondent.
Absolutely.
Middle of Africa.
Reaching the summit was a secondary goal. What was more important was raising funds for the cause to build this St. Benedict's House of Studies in Singida.
So beyond the climbing of Mount Kilimanjaro, the other goal that I had was to basically check out Singida. And that's the real reason, I came. I donated money, and before I donated any more or asked anyone else to donate, I had to make sure that this was the real thing.
Part 2 of this trip is to go to Singida, and there is where the House of Studies is. So we're going to be taking a drive there. Once we're there, we're going to spend a couple of days and kind of see all that's there, the House of Studies that we're working hard to build. We're going to see the school, the hospitals, and all that is in this traditional Catholic religious community.
Singida, first thing is the first Mass we went to. We had many of the novices and the postulants and the nuns themselves singing the responses to the Mass, very much devout.
It's beautiful, it was peaceful. Vespers Mass was probably one of the most beautiful Masses I've ever seen. All of these young nuns singing for God.
Visiting Singida was truly an inspiration, a revelation. There we met Father Antonius. Father Antonius is a visionary par excellence.
My name is Father Antonius Maria Mamseri. I'm serving the community as a Superior General of the Congregation of Missioners of the Holy Cross. Our mother founder was telling us our charisma will be the need of the church anywhere at any time. Where Jesus is suffering, when Jesus is showing his hands to ask for help. So here in Africa we are having a hospital mission. So we care for patients. Also we care for education. Parents are looking for good education of their children, not only for the civil education but also for their faith.
Good morning. How are you?
We are fine. How are you too?
We are also fine.
Children that we saw in their school systems, there's both a boys' school and a girls' school, and then basically an orphanage. Just incredible. The devotion they had, the benefit they're having by being able to go to that school, just to lift themselves out of poverty and get themselves a bit of an education. And it was inspiring and hopeful, caused a lot of hope for us for the future.
Hey, wake up!
They haven't just set up a center somewhere that's kind of sweet and kind of cute. They're taking care of a few kids, and isn't that nice? They're changing the landscape here, the community here. They have parishes popping up all over the place. Convents, monasteries, schools for little kids, middle school kids, college-age kids,
So there are people who are following what you are doing here, and they see so many of you, and they're very excited and very happy and very joyful because you represent the future.
So it's really hard to describe the impact that it has on you. You walk around and from one moment to the next, or from 1 hour to the next, one day to the next, you're discovering, wow, you have a whole other parish here. You've got a whole other educational center here. It's all Orthodox, solid Catholic.
The crops that they're growing, the homesteading they're doing, it's all a refreshing, simple life.
They're very self-sustaining. All the food that we had there was delicious and homegrown there. They have their own livestock. They've accomplished a lot there.
Christopher Wentz, our friend, visited us, and he was motivated when he saw that we need to start a house of studies for the seminarians who are finishing the low level, ordinary level. And then to go to somewhere to study more to prepare for the priesthood, there's no a place. So we need to buy a place, we need to build houses and to look for water, to look for this needs money.
If you go online and you try to find out what the St. Benedict House of Studies is all about, you're not going to find a lot, because they absolutely, the priests here, especially Father Antonius, they have put their trust and their hope in God completely. So there's no elaborate fundraising schemes, there's no fancy website. Kind of hard to find out what's going on from the internet. So when you come here and you take the tours and you go out to see what they're doing, it's not like they have this idea, if you give us a bunch of money, we're going to build this great thing, we'll build it and they will come. It's already happening. They're not trying to do a fundraiser. They're just trying to do God's will. And it's an explosion of faith and vitality and youth and vocations and so forth. So all I would say is I've gone there, I've seen it, it's already happening. It's not in the potential, they're already doing it.
We saw the building under construction. It was nice to see it actually taking form. Gratifying to see our fundraising put to good use.
Everyone there was hard at work. They're making their own bricks. Amazing. All day from 2 a.m. to the afternoon.
Totally self-sufficient. Amazing.
Seeing St. Benedict's House of Studies made my heart leap. You can see it all taking place, and Father took us around and he showed us, well, this is where the guests are going to be, and this is where the brothers will be. And then he showed us the miracle. He said, if we find water here, it means God is telling us that this is the place to build the House of Studies. They dug 57 meters and they struck mineral water. Plenty for the whole operation there. Once they did that, Father knew this is the spot.
You drank like an elephant, a lot.
And apparently, it is the money that we've raised that has been instrumental in digging that well and starting the foundation. So we've got to continue in our endeavors to supply him with the funds so that he can continue with his construction. And he has no doubt that God will provide, but we are the instruments. He showed us drawings that he had made, his vision of what the seminary was going to be like, of what the future church for the seminarians was going to be like.
The shape is our emblem, the cross of our Lord. And in the cross you saw the psycho. The psycho is the Eucharist. The plan is to continue, and then we move to there. Seminarians who are ready to start their studies as philosophy, theology, they will move there. And at the same time, if the donations come in once more, so we'll build a second building, as you saw from the drawings. The kitchen, chapel, the bedrooms. That's where we are now.
St. Benedict House of Studies will provide, even for poor African students, the possibility to learn the authentic, traditional Catholic faith, theology, the beauty of the Holy Liturgy, the spiritual life. And this gives hope for not only for Africans, but for the entire Church.
Europeans sent missionaries to Africa a long time ago. I would not be at all surprised to see, even in my lifetime, but certainly in the lifetime of my children, where the traditional Catholic African missionaries are going to be in our country, saving us and helping our kids and grandkids keep the faith. I can't tell you what it was like to get up pre-dawn, before the sun was up, go down to the little chapel and see, 250 young girls from the school there with another 50 nuns and the traditional Latin Mass going on before the sun even came up. They're singing their hearts out, and just to stand there and go, wow, this is something that cannot be undone. This is going to have ramifications for years and years and years. Solid education in the faith, love, joy, happy kids that intend to do God's will here in Africa, and it's a lot of hope for the future. Obviously for the church in Africa, but for all of us back home, lots of hope. Reason to keep praying and support the really good work that's going on here.
To sum up, I would say that I have been privileged to be with the 9 Americans, wonderful people, energetic and full of zeal for the mission. I feel privileged and honored as a lone Canadian to have been a part of this endeavor. and I would strongly recommend anyone who is hearing about the work that Father Antonius is doing to support it, because he's working miracles.
So what I'll be able to tell my family and friends is that the Catholic faith is alive and well in Tanzania in general and Singida in particular. This trip was amazing. I've never been in Africa before. I had my own preconceived opinions. Some were accurate, some were not. Extreme poverty, primitive living that still exists, and we saw some, great faith and great opportunity for the Catholic faith going forward. Something to behold, really, and it was an experience I'll never forget.
It was the best that I could have imagined. Both Singida and Kilimanjaro were fantastic.
It was amazing to do this climb and this pilgrimage and to proclaim the reign of Mary as the Queen of Heaven. And it was one of the greatest feats I've ever done in my life, and I couldn't have done it without God and Our Lady.
Well put, I can't top that. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad it's over.
It was a dream come true. I couldn't have asked for a better group of men to climb with. I couldn't have ever dreamed that a traditional priest would have been celebrating Mass with us at every step of the way. It was just a dream come true.
I've received a lot of graces. I've been able to do a lot of penance for all of my crimes and sins, and I've been able to pray for my family, and I'm just walking away feeling like I was on a retreat. So as I fly back home on the plane, I'm so thankful to Our Lady, so thankful to the team, to the climbers that climbed with me, and I'm looking forward to seeing the finished St. Benedict House of Studies. I can honestly say that step by step, we're building the reign of Mary. May the reign of Mary come. Adveniat Regnum Mariae.
Thank you very much. In Swahili we say, asante sana. You did it without knowing us first. You just heard about us and you started doing. This shows your good heart. Now you saw yourself why you are donating and for what and where, and the start of the work already you saw it. I can't say another word because to say more, it's to miss the words. So I say thank you.